And for more on China and the Vietnam relationship, let's cross live to LA and Sung Won Sohn, professor of economics at California State University. Thanks for joining us again.
Hello.
So Vietnam's economy forecast to grow 6.7% since 1990. The economic growth has averaged nearly 7% a year. What is the biggest factor driving this impressively steady growth?
Number of factors. First of all, the business climate has improved tremendously. The government of Vietnam has changed rules and regulations to make foreign investments more friendly. For example, Intel, they opened a $1 billion semiconductor factory. Canon is employing 18,000 people, and then there are a number of other cases where foreign investors are welcome. And then so that's, I think, very important, the business climate. And then the second reason, of course, is the free trade agreements. Vietnam joined WTO and also has 10 free trade agreements, including the United States. As a result, they are able to export, and exports have been rising by leaps and bounds. But I would say one of the most important factors is China. Vietnam is a part of a China supply chain. In fact, China needs Vietnamese goods to manufacture many of the goods, including apparel, for example, for exports to the United States.
Well, let's focus on that, Professor, because how has Vietnam's geographic proximity to China impacted its growth?
That is very important. Of course, it's next door and has a long relationship with China and Vietnam. As a part of the China supply chain, for example, if you want to complete a ladies' garment in China for exports to the United States, some of the yarns could be coming from Vietnam. Some of the dyeing could be taking place in Vietnam. So the proximity, geographic proximity, is very important, and that cuts the transportation costs. So in terms of China factor, Vietnam is not only part of a supply chain, but in some cases also alternative to China, rather than going to China where things are getting pretty expensive now. More and more firms, including from the United States, they are going to Vietnam. Again, apparel, that's a good example.
Well, like you say, those rising wages in China have made Vietnam a substitute location as a cheap manufacturing hub. But how long can it maintain that?
Well, I think that can go on for a while, especially because labor costs and other costs in China have and will continue to rise. As a result, other countries such as Vietnam, Cambodia, Bangladesh, and India, they are becoming more and more important as an alternative to China. But again, Vietnam is a very prime spot because it's so close to China, and then the infrastructure, the rail connection, for example, from Vietnam to China is very convenient. As a result, Vietnam definitely has an advantage. In addition, China imports other goods such as food and oil from Vietnam as well.
Well, Professor, Vietnamese Prime Minister Phuc is in China. He met with Premier Li Keqiang. As you know, Vietnam opposes China's claims in the South China Sea. With that tension, where do Chinese-Vietnamese economic ties stand at the moment?
Well, I mean, certainly that is not helpful, but I think in this case, they recognize that economic ties are very important. Vietnam, they want to grow the economy to improve the standard of living of the population as they have in the past. As a result, I think they will not jeopardize economic ties because of the claims on South China Sea. So, I mean, they are obviously related, but I don't think they will let the South China Sea jeopardize the economic ties and relationship.
Well, Vietnam is seen as Asia's next economic tiger. What could derail that? What obstacles could prevent that from happening?
Well, Vietnam, even though it has made tremendous progress, and as I mentioned, business climate has improved quite a bit, but still it's a socialist economy. 50% of the population, they still make living based on agriculture, which is somewhat primitive. And productivity of the population is really not that high. And so when you have a socialist government meddling in many affairs, that is one of the reasons why productivity is low. So I think they need to really get their hands off of the economy as much as they can in a socialist economy, and that's one of the important factors. The other one is, of course, the banking situation. The banking system has a lot of bad loans, problem loans, and so unless they can handle those bank loans, they may not be able to finance the infrastructure, the industry, the private sector of the economy in Vietnam. So I would say those are really the two key important items. Again, getting the government relax the rules and regulations, and then again getting the banking system healthy.
All right, thank you so much for your insight. We're out of time. Sung Won Sohn, Professor of Economics at California State University, Channel Islands.